Okay, so when looking at the things that have been most impactful and just different facts learned that I have learned throughout the semester on wellness models and stress interactions, I think that the first thing would be that for student athletes, the biggest time to get hurt for athletes is during midterms and finals week, whereas you're putting a lot of pressure on like your schoolwork and stuff, but if you're still competing at that high level, you're more likely to get injured because you're not putting as much care into your body as you are your focus on your school, which definitely focusing on school is important, but it's also the fact that you're going through so much physically that you're risking getting hurt that whole entire time, which that stood out to me just because that was the time for me when I pulled my hamstring the first time when I was running because I was no, I think it was finals week, but it was finals week and you could just tell that I was stressing out about exams and not really putting a focus on my body. And we were competing in a track meet, and then boom, and my first race of the season, I pulled my hamstring because my body was not ready for it because I had not put as much time and effort into keeping myself injury free that entire time. The second thing for me would be putting the emphasis on journaling. So I think journaling was a great thing just to be able to take your mind off of some of the stress that you were experiencing, but it's not just focusing on all the bad things when you're journaling. Yes, there are things that are going to be good to journal about because it's stressing you out, but also putting an emphasis on gratitude journaling where you can write about all the good things that you're going through. And while you're doing this, you can really put a focus on, okay, stuff might be going wrong, stuff might be stressing me out. However, I'm going to be fine because I have all these other things in my life that are just so beneficial and they're helping me. But it's also really good to look at like journaling can be different for everybody. So some people video journal, some people can write stuff down, bullet point, whatever, but you can also draw, paint. I mean, whatever type of journal you would really want to do, I think is just kind of like how can you get your feelings out on that page. The last thing would be how you perceive stress. So one of the things was we watched a TED talk of Kelly McGonigal, and she was just like talking about perceiving stress. So I believe it was 43% of people had an increased chance of dying based off of their stress levels. However, that perceiving stress, it was all about how you perceive the stress. So that increase of chances of dying only happened if you truly perceive that stress. But if you don't believe that the stress was having a negative impact on you, those chances of dying did not increase, which I thought was really interesting because I think we all think of like how much stress we're in, but we should maybe just note that we are stressed and that we have stress, but don't let it affect us in a negative way. So to me, that had like a pretty good thing that we could take from that, which was, again, know that you have stress, but also know that everybody has stress, but we're not going to let it completely have that negative impact on us. So how do I envision applying these insights in a practical setting when working with clients? So I think I would talk about journaling. I think journaling is a great thing for them to really look at, like, how am I feeling during this workout? How am I feeling after? What am I feeling going in? How can I affect how I'm feeling? I can be grateful for the things that I was able to accomplish during that workout. Anything along the lines of that, I think journaling is going to be a really good thing. But also how you perceive your stress while you're training somebody can be something that's really good. So like I would want them to know that like you might be stressed out pre-workout, but like, hey, let's just take all that stuff away and let's really focus on the workout while we're in here. And I think that could be really good for them to know that, hey, like, oh, I'm just doing this workout right now. Like, I don't need to stress about other things. And then specific example about how these insights might influence your approach to training and supporting clients. I think knowing that everybody has stress and everybody's going through something could be really big. So knowing that sometimes you're not going to get the best workout, but the fact that you showed up there is one thing. And I want to encourage everybody to just keep showing up and like, we're all stressed out. So how can I help take that off of them? Again, it's not necessarily journaling, but like maybe if they just want to talk about anything, like knowing that I'm here for them, like I'm just somebody who can hear, and maybe encourage them to go journal, do whatever they need to do to try and get that stress off, I think is really important. But overall, just being that listening ear for them and knowing what's going on in their lives, like what do they have that's super stressful? So if they're super stressed about something else, maybe we take a step back on the workout and help them relax a little bit and focus on other things, but really just trying to help them have some place that they can go where they won't be stressed out. It's really the main goal from all of these different stress management techniques, wellness models, and interactions I've learned.